Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, yesterday we started perimeter and area. Today we're going to continue, and we're just going to add a little twist as we move on through the day. Just a little twist. First of all, anytime we have a perimeter and area question, we should always draw the picture. Makes your life much, much easier.
No, it does. It takes more time.
I don't care, dude, anyway. Because I promise you it'll save you time in the future when you get it wrong and have to redo it. Second of all, when we're finding perimeter and area, I always want you to write down the formulas.
You said that yesterday and I didn't do it and still got it right.
Oh, I know, but that doesn't mean you're less annoying. So here we have, what shape is this? Mia.
It's a rectangle.
It is a rectangle. Rectangle means the opposite sides are parallel. 4 90-degree angles, if I could write neatly. And 4 sides. So it is a rectangle. This year, you'll only learn to find area of rectangles. You can find areas of other shapes. Well, rectangles and squares, but since squares are rectangles, I'll just say rectangles. All right, we have our formula. Area equals length times width. We have 3, count them, 3 variables in this formula. We have an A, we have an L, we have a W. As we do the work, we're going to be able to replace 2 of those with numbers. 2 of those with numbers. If you don't write the formula, it's going to be more difficult, I promise you, as we move on through our lives. Do we know the area right now?
No.
No, we don't know it. They didn't tell us what the area is.
I know.
So that stays that variable. That stays that variable. Pantuso, what is the length?
18 feet.
18 feet. And I don't care what if you put in multiplication, can be done either way. And then Pantuso, what's the width?
27 feet.
27 feet. Good. So we know 2 of our variables. We replace those 2 variables with the numbers that they represent. So now I can find the area, which would help me replace the 3rd variable. Stephanie, do you know the product of 18 and 27?
486.
486. Are we good with that? Okay. So 486 is the product of 18 and 27. We're finding area. That's the amount of space. It's a 2-dimensional space. It has length and width. Since it's 2-dimensional, that's why it's feet squared. Or if you wanted to write it in words, square feet. Perimeter is 1-dimensional. It's a flat, just lines. 1 dimension. Lines. There's no width, just length. So we don't write that as square feet or anything like that. So now we find the perimeter. Do we know the P? Have they given us the P? No, they didn't give us the P. We know that's a letter 2. Do we know the length? Yes. So what is the length? 18. We know we put a plus there. We know we use that too. Do they give us the width?
Yes.
And that is
27.
27. Wait a minute, Mr. McMurdo. I have a question. What does that little dot mean between them? That's the same as saying multiplication. I could also write it. Perimeter equals 2 18th, or 2 times 18 plus 2 times 27. Okay, different ways to show multiplication. If you have a number next to the parentheses, that just means you're multiplying what's in the parentheses. All right, we still don't know what our P is. And so we figure out 2 times 18 is 36. Plus 2 times 27 is 54. And 36 plus 54 is
90.
90. So our P is 90. our perimeter equals 90. And that's just 90 feet since it's only one-dimensional.
I could have done all of that without writing the formula.
Well, all right. Let's look at one that you're going to have to use the formula. Well, you're not going to have to, but it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. So this one, we're going to find the missing side link.
Oh, that's fun. I don't know how to do these.
Well, what does that mean? Well, let's look here. We have this. We have the area equals 24 feet squared. And we have this side equals 8. And we have to find the missing side length. So I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to let my class in here try to find the missing side length. They're all going to complain and say it's too difficult. But don't you at home complain. Pause this video at home and then you can do this. I promise you. And we're back. All right, my class was telling me,
This is so easy.
but they did it in their head. They didn't write down the variable because they're knuckleheads. And so we look at the numbers we're given. We're given the area and we're given the length. We have to find the width of this particular rectangle. Now why write down the formula? Because then I can replace the correct variables with what the information is they give me. So let's look at this. This time I know the area. So I put down 24 as my area. Here's my formula, area equals length times width. They give me the area. So that is one of the two numbers they're going to give me. And they give me 8 times width. 8 times width. I don't have the width, I have the length. So I replace length with 8. And I have to leave the variable. I have to leave the variable for width. Now, since this one is so easy, we can easily figure out 24 equals 8 times, what's the width going to be? 3. Because all I'm doing is figuring out what do I have to multiply times 8 to get 24. If it were a bigger number, I could just divide 8 into 24, and that would help me figure it out. So when I give you a really hard one in a few minutes that I'm going to make up myself, just because I'm mean, then that would help you. You would divide the 8 into 24. And then we would check it. Does 24 equal 24? And the answer is yes. So I know my width is 3. So they're going to give you, this year, they're always going to give you 2 of the variables. If you write down and work through the formula, it's going to be much easier. Because I promise you, one of the answers would be 24 times 8. If you just looked at it, saw those two numbers, know that in area you multiply, and you're going to get, let's see, 24 times 8, 32, 3, 16, 17, 18, 19. You're going to get 192, and 192 is going to be there. Because you didn't work through using the formula. Always. And the rock means always. Use the formula. Because it sets up your life to make it so much easier. Let me pause this. I'm going to make up a really hard one in just a second. And we're back.
Yay.
This is the problem we're given. Now those of you who are watching this video, Amara says you're not actually going to do the work. You're just going to wait until Mr. McMurdo does the work. She thinks you're lazy. So prove her wrong. Pause it and solve this problem right here.
Oh, yes.
As I said, you're always going to get 2 of the variables. you're always going to get two of the variables. In this case, we've been given some p, and we've been given our length. This is a rectangle. So how long is this side?
42.
42. So we can put that on there. We can put that on there. But now we're going to go over here to our formula. We know what our P is. So we have 140 equals 2 times, we know what our length is. 2 times 42 plus 2 times W. We don't know what W is, but they've given us our P and they've given us our L. As I've said, they're always going to give us two of the sides this year. Or I mean two of the variables. We're always going to be able to replace two of the variables with numbers. So now we can do the math that we can do. We have 140 equals 84 plus 2 times W. So we need to know, what do we multiply times 2 and then add that to 84 to get 140. So now there's a way to mathematically figure this out. If I subtract 84 from 140, I'm going to get 13, 10, 6, 56. So that means 2 times something. So 2 times something needs to equal 56. So now I'm at the point where I can, if I know 2 times something equals 56, I can divide 56 by 2, and that's going to give me my width. If I divide 56 by 2, I get 28. So I think my width equals 28. I want to check, because I always want to get the answer right. So I'm going to check and see if, and I can check this, 42 plus 42 plus 28 plus 28. If I want to do the easier math, because I like to add instead of multiply, because I'm busy. And I can do that math. I know 42 plus 42 is 84. Plus, I've already said 28 plus 28 is 56. So add 24 plus 56, or 84 plus 56, and see, do we get 140? Yeah? Yeah? Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah? 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 This is why I always say, draw a picture, use the formula. If they don't give you, I mean, if they're just asking, hey, find the perimeter, and they give you the length and the width, or they say, find the area, and they give you the length and the width, easy peasy, raw chicken squeezy. However, if they don't give you, if they're trying to make you find the length, and they give you the perimeter, it's easier if you replace the variables you know, and that's going to help you work through to find the variable you don't know. Write a picture, use the formula. Boom! Shakalaka, peace out, God bless, love you, do something kind today, save the bees.